Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a character spotlight video talking about Carl's resemblance to Shane. Alright, so after was reading the comments, and a lot of people were kind of divided on whether or not they liked the episode. By the way, this will contain spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen The Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 9, all the way up till that at this point. Don't want to ruin it for anybody who's in the UK or anything who hasn't seen it yet. You can find it streaming. Just search on Google, for example. Couch Tuner is one site that has it, so you can search for that. Just be careful for adware, because some of them try to get you to install stuff. So be careful. Don't install anything. Don't be a fool. Your computer will be, infected with adware, and you get all kinds of annoying pop-ups and stuff. But that said, for anybody who hasn't seen it, yes, we're going to talk about it. So I don't want to ruin the events for anybody. But basically, the point of the video is I want to do like a character spotlight, talking about Carl, but also talking about his. How he's sort of grown into like a Shane 2.0. It's kind of funny because in the beginning of the series, we kind of see Carl and Shane has sort of become his like stepdad almost, kind of thing, like surrogate father, because Rick obviously is in a coma and Shane's teaching him all these different things. I really like the tie back in After this weekend when he was talking about the knot and saying that Shane taught him, and talking to Rick in such a demeaning manner, telling him that you remember him, don't you? And all those different lines that we heard him say in After. It really intrigues me with Carl's character and makes him, I think, a lot more interesting of a character than he was up until this point. Now, we've seen this kind of development from the comic book series version of Carl, but we haven't seen it from the TV series version of Carl, Chandler Riggs' version of Carl. And to see him act it out, and obviously with the amount of time each episode has, I'm really excited to see what kind of survivor he becomes in the future. But if he continues down the road that he's on right now, I would say he probably is going to end up way more like Shane than like Rick, if you think about it. And it's funny, as the series goes on more and more, we kind of, or at least most viewers, if they haven't read the books or anything, they probably are starting to realize how smart Shane was, and he was kind of sort of before his time with the whole Randall situation and his insight and his willingness to change, whereas it seemed like everybody else in the group, especially Rick, they were not so willing to adapt to the zombie apocalypse world, whereas he was. And it's funny that he was killed as a result. He did not make it. He did not survive, of course, with the situation with Rick, but also the disagreement with Randall, which kind of pushed him over the edge, knowing that if Rick was going to behave in that manner, he wouldn't be able to protect, Lori, the baby, and Carl, all these different things. So it's a pretty interesting dynamic that they're sort of tying back into Shane's character, and I gotta say, the more we see from Carl, the more he resembles Shane almost exactly. He's more changed from the world, and the things he says to Rick, talking about him wanting to play farmer and all these different things. Of the people he blames him for their deaths. He blames Rick for losing, Lori and Judith and all those other characters, Herschel and everybody. And it's going to make him even more colder, and I would think in the future even more like Shane. When he meets other survivors out there in the world, he's not going to be as inviting and as any of these types of things. He's going to treat it very similar to how Shane probably would have treated them. He'll probably kill without asking any questions. He's going to be hardened. He's going to be a lot like Shane. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic that they're kind of going that direction with Carl. And I do like him as a character. I think he's a great character, and that because he's a kid and he isn't so attached to that old world way of being, regular life that we live, right? He's more adaptable. Like he adapts more quickly than a lot of other characters are trying to hold on to their humanity. The older they get, of course, less willingness to change. So I think it's a lot of fun where they're going with Carl's character, and I did really enjoy After, even though I know some people didn't, because granted there wasn't that much action and there weren't that many characters, but we did get to see some new environments. We got to see some nice tiebacks from things Carl was saying, and we haven't seen anybody argue with Rick that much, I don't think, since Shane, right? So that's fun too, and fun episode. Lots of good stuff coming from the Walking Dead television series, I'm sure, in the next 7 episodes. And Chandler Riggs did a great job, I think, with his acting. And I think I'd have to add him to the list, even though before I did lists of top 10 greatest characters, and he wasn't on it. I think now I'll have to start considering next time I do that, adding him to the list, because he's gotten so much time. And Michonne too, her time on the episode, I think, also does make her an even better character as well. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about that, about who will Carl become more like, Rick or Shane in the future. I gotta say, the more we see from him, the more it's like, yeah, he's just like Shane, pretty much exactly. Kind of a trip. Anyway, I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev, saying peace.